Your home is your castle, except when the government decides to put a railway line through it. An entire neighbourhood's been told to make way.
I'm speechless about what's going on and what they've done to everybody.
It's going to be really hard on the people here, and it's just not fair.
It's not fair at all, no. No, it's not fair.
Talk about being railroaded. All the people who live on this side of this street are going to lose their homes. They're to be bulldozed to make way for the new railway line. So are the houses you can see at the end of the street there, and several of the houses on the other side of that in the neighbouring street. All up, some 21 properties in this neighbourhood alone are earmarked for destruction. What will it mean for you to see a bulldozer go through your place?
Oh, I can't even imagine. I wouldn't be able to look at it. I would have to be a long way away when they started doing that.
Pensioner Cheryl Love has lived here in Logan, south of Brisbane, for 38 years. Her home a sanctuary for 3 generations of the family.
None of us had an inkling of what was going to happen until we got the letter. There's absolutely nothing.
So this was something of a secret?
Yeah. It just sort of came out of the blue.
It's my home, it's my castle, and I feel comfy here.
Around the corner, Gabby Corrin has lived here 32 years. She even held her wedding reception in the backyard. So I'm guessing you don't want to leave?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
And I plan to stay here for the rest of my days. I didn't plan to sell or anything. I just love the place I live in.
Michael McDonald's house will be in the middle of the new train line. He's been here a decade.
You know, I told my wife, and yeah, we were sort of going, wow, just where do we go from here? Eh?
It must have been devastating.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Seems like the railway and the main roads don't care, as long as they get what they want.
Pensioner Barry McClellan has lived here 15 years.
What would they do about it if it was their property? Will they sit back and let it go ahead?
And perhaps the saddest story is that of Meanne Walker, who lives in the next street over. Meanne's just finished building this 5-bedroom house. He hadn't even moved in when he got the letter from the Queensland government with the bad news.
I read it and I just couldn't believe it. Went home and I just started crying.
What's baffling about Meanne's case is that he says the bank which lent him the money to build told him they'd done all the necessary searches to establish there wasn't a problem with putting a house here. He says the local council told him the same thing when he applied to it to move the water meter so he could put in the driveway.
Very, very angry with the government. I mean, why didn't they tell me 2 years ago? They probably knew it, but why didn't they tell me 18 months ago?
It's all part of a plan to boost train services between the Gold Coast and Brisbane in time for the 2032 Olympics. Here at Trinder Park, they want to straighten the line, and that means knocking down houses. Do you think this has something to do with the Olympics?
More than likely. It's something about getting everybody here and there a lot quicker for that. And
I believe it's hastened things. Yeah, absolutely. It's sort of everything's got to be right for the big showpiece.
That was my first thought when I got that letter. I was crying when I brought that letter home.
A spokesperson for TransLink, the government department upgrading the train line, says straightening the tracks in this section would improve efficiency. And we approach this with understanding and compassion. The local member, who's also the Queensland Treasurer, Cameron Dick, was unavailable for interview, but in a statement says, "I will be fighting hard for the best result, with the least disruption and to make sure everyone is looked after." Does it seem heartless to you?
it does, but they've got their own way of doing things. They reckon they've only just been able to let people know.
Cheryl and everyone else has been told they'll be paid market value for their homes, but in a booming real estate market, they fear they won't be able to replace what they have.
What I got now can't be replaced. Definitely not.
Not for what you think they'll be offering?
No, because we spent a lot of money in that house.
Now, you're a pensioner.
Yeah.
How will you cope, do you think, having to leave here and with the financial stress?
Well, you know, we've been to the bank already and doubt you'll get another mortgage, they said.
No trains through our homes.
Now this neighbourhood is gearing up for a fight.
we're going to have to fight a government that's not going to work very well for us.
What would you say to the government if they're listening?
Look at the alternatives and think about some of the people that live here too, that market value on their houses won't compensate them for a new house.
I'm going to do my best to fight on. I'm not going to give up. It's definitely not fair. Definitely not fair.